I literally got to the point where nothing mattered anymore besides me staying alive, you know. So, like I said, I didn't want to live. I was lost, man, and I was miserable. I didn't like waking up. Just pretty much packed a backpack and walked away.
In 2012, I walked across America. You know, it was a very trying time in my life. Didn't really know who I was. It's a tough stage in life. It's kind of tough to find your way, who you are, who you want to be, where you want to go. Life is traumatic. I think we all need something to save us.
But the man known as Hobo Nick is not doing this for any cause, attention, or glory. To him, it's an inner challenge.
I sort of needed to get away and have an outlet to, I guess, do a little bit of soul searching and sort of find out what's more important in life.
And I just wanted to get through my day and to go to sleep. And that's the point where I just knew I can't live like that. It's not a life worth living, you know.
But I'm really glad I did. It restored a lot of things I needed at that time before that journey. You know, I would go so far as to say I didn't really like myself. I didn't know myself as a person. You know, when you're stripped of all your possessions, you really discover your character. And I liked who I discovered. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. As you guys kind of saw, there was a little preview there of a journey I had 14 years ago now. Just wanted to talk a little bit about that. You know, I sort of built my identity on my possessions. After a few years, I really found out that that doesn't do anything for me. It didn't fulfill me. I ended up homeless on the streets for a few years. I didn't do any drugs or alcohol. It was just depression. You know, I was really, really defeated by my depression. Eventually, I hit my rock bottom, and I knew I needed something big to help discover who I was and get my zest back, so to speak, my enjoyment for life. I actually started with no food or money. Had a backpack and the clothes on my back, basically. By that time in my life, I had already been homeless for a little bit, so I sort of knew how to survive on the streets, hitting dumpsters, picking out of garbages and things like that. I know it sounds crazy, but that's how I survived for years. And I just started walking. And part of my own rules for this journey was that I never wanted to take anything from anyone I knew before that journey started. I also did not want to set foot in a vehicle or bicycle or bus or anything like that. The journey itself, I don't believe fixed me, but what it did give to me was inspiration to get myself back. I sort of used that journey to kind of thrust myself into therapy, and I went through therapy for years, you know, to work through some of the stuff that I had been putting off, and that was probably, you know, the reason I was homeless and struggling so much. In fact, I know it was. As hard as I worked and as committed as I was on that journey, I sort of equally gave that effort and commitment to therapy. I wouldn't say it cured the depression, but it gave me the tools to sort of manage the depression, which eventually I then sort of just got used to that lifestyle, and I didn't struggle with depression. Obviously, we all have rough days, but you know, it's just different. So I just wanted to share that note with you guys. One other thing I really truly believe is that you gotta have passion that drives you. You know, life's tough. Life is gonna kick you in the teeth all the time. I would say if I had to share a note, especially people in their, you know, young 20s, like I struggled at that time, I would say, you know, don't rely on working hard for nice things to make you happy. If you're not currently happy. If you're not currently happy, I don't think material things are gonna change that. They might make you feel better for a little bit, but I believe that wears off, and, you know, genuine joy and happiness comes from digging deeper and doing a little bit more work than that. You guys know this is a fishing channel. You know, fishing to me is very special as well. Fishing is my passion. You know, it brings me a lot of joy. Also, I'm very competitive. You know, I've always been competitive my whole life. Competition also drives me. Adding the competition to bass fishing is like, it just gets me ultra driven. A little bit of my bass fishing backstory. I grew up trout fishing, striper fishing, a little bit of sturgeon with my dad, catfish at the river. You know, I never bass fished. About 6 years ago, I got invited to my buddy's 40th birthday, and it was at El Salto, Lake El Salto in Mexico, which, if you haven't heard of it, is probably one of the top 3 bass fisheries in the world. It's insane. So that was like my first bass fishing experience, and I was immediately hooked. So I got back home from Mexico, and like 2 weeks later I had a boat, and I was just kind of off to the races. Bought a little aluminum John boat. You know, honestly, my bass fishing for the first probably 4.5, 5 years was all drop shot. I had like 2 rods, and it caught fish, so I didn't really care to go beyond that. I was just having a blast. I was playing competitive baseball at the time. That was kind of getting my competitive itch out, and you know, the team sort of retired. Everyone stopped playing, so I decided, hey, you know what? I love bass fishing. I want to check out the competition aspect of it. Found a tournament, entered that tournament. This is a little later down the road. We're at a tracker now, aluminum boat, and went out and we did okay. I think we caught maybe like 12 pounds, but and we caught a lot of fish. We thought we had a decent day, but I quickly learned at that time, starting to research a little bit more about the competitive scene and tournaments, I needed to dive in a little bit more if I wanted to find any success with the tournament scenes. And this is maybe 1.5 years ago. So this is where I started to open up a little bit more to new techniques. I bought casting rods, never used a casting rod my whole life. Now I own like, you know, 20 of them. So obviously kind of dove in, started to realize that if you want to get those bigger fish in a tournament, you need to really widen your skill set and the techniques you're able to use. All the different seasons and all the different fisheries, there's different ways to, you know, get those reaction bites or find those bigger fish and get them to eat. So that's currently where I'm at. I've learned a ton in the last year and a half, and actually won a couple tournaments, small tournaments, but won a couple club tournaments. And you know, I've placed in the money maybe 3 or 4 more times in the past 1.5 years through tournaments. So that's where I'm at right now. And you know, the goal is to just continue to grow and continue to put that puzzle together on tournament days, and see if I can find a little bit of consistency on you know, different types of fisheries and all that good stuff. So there are going to be days inevitably that are a struggle. I'm going to try to film everything. I'm trying to commit to this and take you guys along for the highs and the lows. And you know what I always like to say is that you don't appreciate the highs without the lows. So the more lows you get, the more you're going to appreciate those highs. And so, you know, on those bad days, that's just what I tell myself. Hey, it's just going to make that next good day or that next good tournament that much sweeter. And it's going to tell me I need to go back and study a little bit more, research a little bit more, and figure out what I didn't do right. This week, obviously no fishing. It was my birthday, so I went up to visit with my dad and some family and stuff. So I had the weekend off for fishing, but did want to bring you guys a video just check in with you guys on where I'm at and this experience so far, this journey, this fishing journey so far, and where I'd like to go. So thanks again, guys. I know it's cliche, but if you guys could like, comment, subscribe, share. On my last video, my buddy Dave and I took 4th place in a tournament that I think was like 35-40 boats, so that's a good finish for us. So check out that video, share that video, and we have a tournament coming up next weekend. So the next video you guys see next week will be a tournament at New Hogan Lake. So thank you guys so much for joining, and appreciate you guys following along with this journey. We'll see you guys on the next video.